Hi, my name's Dr. Harry Canassa and I'm a Science Education Lecturer within the School of Education and Professional Studies. The challenge that I face is a challenge that a lot of lecturers face within large group settings. What we want to do is to be able to engage as many students as we can within the activities that we conduct. So for example, one of the major activities that we do is determine student prior knowledge. Quite often what happens is the lecturer will ask a question and a single student will respond. Or you might have a handful of students respond, not necessarily the whole crowd. So what we want to do is be able to maximize engagement within our lectures and also in our labs to reduce social loafing. What we also want to be able to do is quickly and easily conduct some kind of diagnostic assessment within these large groups to find out who's done the readings, what prior knowledge students have, what misconceptions they also have in terms of the content we're about to cover. Within education, we also have the particular issue of role modelling, how we integrate technology within pedagogical practices. So the approach that we use within this course is we decided to fully integrate the Google Drive suite into our daily practice. So what we did at the beginning of trimester was we created a whole bunch of documents within Google Drive, and we sent out an invite to our students, inviting students to these Google Drive documents. We also set the expectation that each time they came into a lecture theatre or into a lab within our courses, that they immediately opened up any relevant documents. So for example, there was a role, and there would be various documents that we would be using within that lecture or the lab. Sometimes that was a spreadsheet if we were collecting data, sometimes that was a document if we were analysing text, for example. Then what we would do is we would nominate how we wanted the students to interact with those documents, whether individually or within groups. So the example that you're going to see is where I actually had students working within groups to determine their prior knowledge. So the particular pedagogical tool that I used here was a KWL, and what this is really good for is tracking the learning process, the learning journey within a learning episode. So the KWL has three main components. The K, what do we know? The W, what do we want to know? And the L, what have we learnt? So we track the learning process from beginning to end. The diagnostic assessment portion of the KWL in this particular instance was time boxed, because I didn't want this particular activity to go on and on. So I gave students 2 minutes to provide me with everything they knew about this particular topic. So once we conducted the diagnostic assessment, we stood back and we looked at the KWL as teachers would. So the K column provided us with student prior knowledge, misconceptions, who had done the readings, who hadn't done the readings. That middle column, the W column, was where students were able to identify gaps within their own prior knowledge and explicitly state that within the KWL. The beauty of combining technological solutions such as the Google Suite with traditional pedagogical tools that we use is that we're easily able to assess prior knowledge. We're able to quickly and easily determine breadth and depth of that knowledge and to maximise student engagement. We're also able to include a sense of accountability, because students could actually see who had contributed and how much students were able to contribute. We're also able to quickly and easily identify concepts that students understood, any misconceptions, and then I was able to address those in the next portion of this lesson, where we took all of that prior knowledge and we combined that within a concept map. The advice that I would give for anyone who is looking to integrate technology with their current classroom practice is that I strongly recommend, firstly, that you familiarise yourself with the tools in other areas of your work. So for example, that you use Google Drive for research, for collaboration with colleagues on projects, for sharing documents and things like that. I also recommend that if you do use the Google Drive suite, that you organise any documents that you use throughout the trimester into folders. That way it allows you to keep track of those documents, but it also helps the students as well. I advise your students to use the Google Drive suite as often as they can for group projects. Start small, so you don't necessarily need to have a complete trimester's worth of documents and folders, but you try it out in, say, a single lecture or within a lab.